Hey, curling fans, welcome back to Chess on Ice. It's another weekly update to catch you up on what's been going on in the world of curling over the last few days and over the weekend. Now, there was a lot of action over the weekend, a whole bunch of spiels on tour, especially on the women's side. There was a lot of play going on. So, we're just going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to jump into one news item that came out today, Tuesday, that I think was very interesting that people will be talking about this week. So, first, on the women's side of things, one of the bigger events this weekend was the Women's Masters event in Basel, and there, Team Tirinzoni took down Team Hasselborg 8-3 in the final. Team Hasselborg was undefeated going into the weekend this year. Actually, lost a couple games, but their first losses of the year, still having a great season. Tirinzoni, as you know, the weekend before, finished runner-up in an event to Team Homan. Comes back with a win this week, which means they've got a win and a runner-up finish in their first two events. They're off to another great season. No reason to think that Tirinzoni, Hasselborg, and of course Team Homan will be right near the top of the heap all season long the way they've started out. Speaking of the top teams in the world, Team Gim out of Korea won the Alberta Series Major, the Hack to House Alberta Curling Series Major on the women's side, beating Team Cameron 6-3 in the final. Now for Team Gim, who is, again, one of the top four-ish teams in the world, they hadn't won an event in a while. They did win the Korean National Championship very early in the season, though, really over the summer. So good to see them get on the board on tour. This is another team that you're going to see right up there with those other three. As we went into the Worlds last year, it was really a cut above the rest. You had Homan, you had Tirinzoni, you had Hasselborg, and you had Gim. And we'll see if someone steps up, but those might be your top four favorites going into Worlds again this year. On the men's side of play, at the ATB Akatox Classic, I probably butchered that pronunciation because I forgot to look it up. But in any case, Team McEwen picking up a second event win, 5-2 over John Schuster's team out of the United States in the final. That means Magic Mike has 2 wins already this year, setting up to be a good season for him. In the KW Fall Classic, we had a big name winner as well, as Team Epping won 4-3 over Yadagasawa in an extra end in that one. So good to see Epping get a win as well. And I do want to make a note for American fans. I'm American, of course, so always want to keep an eye on our fellow players around the world. Ethan Sampson's team beat Riley Smith in the final to pick up the win at the Mothers Club Fall Curling Classic. So congratulations to them. Good to see a young American team out there winning an event on tour. And hopefully this will be the start of a big season for the Sampson rink. All right, now on to the big news story of the week. I think if you've been following curling social media, you probably already know what it is. There's a surprisingly early roster change this season. Now, people do come and go from curling teams. We've seen this over the years, but it often happens in the off-season or towards the end of the season once a team has decided they're no longer really pursuing a goal for the year. So it was a little surprising to see today, on Tuesday, that Team Cooey announced they were parting ways with their second, Jacques Gauthier. Gauthier had joined the team prior to the 23-24 season, and as Team Cooey notes in its own message on social media, they won 2 events and made 5 finals last year. So it's not as though the team hadn't been successful. They did start out 2-0 at the Akatox Classic this past weekend before losing 3 straight games. No one makes a decision like this over one event, I'm sure, and I'm not going to speculate on why they made this decision. I don't have any information about that. It is just surprising to see this early in the season, especially for a high-profile team like this. And Kevin Cooey will be back in action this weekend, so we'll see who's playing with him when the PointsBet Invitational begins. Yeah, that's the big event this weekend. You know it, the single elimination knockout event for Canadian teams. I'm going to have a short preview up on the channel very soon as well, so you want to check that out before the action starts on Wednesday. It's, I believe, on TSN in Canada. I don't know if there's going to be a way to watch this in the United States. We'll see. If I had concrete information, I'd give it to you. One thing I do want to say, don't get scammed. I had a post about this, and posts have been going around. Even Curling Canada put one out, which is what makes me think of it. There are groups putting up links to curling events on YouTube on Facebook, I should say, saying they have streaming links for the events. They do this for all their sports as well. These are not real. Only trust links from actual organizations like Curling Canada, Curling USA, USA Curling, I should say, or whatnot, or from teams you know and trust. But don't just click on these random links. These are scams. Yeah, best just to avoid them all. In any case, I will have a quick preview of the PointsBet Invitational up soon. Until then, good curling, everyone.